Connection with Shade Network activated. Audio file download commencing. Files marked extremely sensitive. Strategic Homeland Division only. Agent, commencing transmission.
What's up, agents? You're listening to episode 156 of SITREP Radio, giving you the news and other happenings in the world of the Division 2. This week we're discussing the changes coming with Wave 2 of the PTS. But first, my name is Mike, and joining me as always are my co-hosts, Robert.
Hello.
And Luke.
Hello.
Hope you guys had a great Easter.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Obviously, to our listeners as well, and anyone new listening to the show. Boys, let's get straight into it. What have we been up to in the Division this week? Silence. We haven't done anything. No, I'm joking. I just kind of wanted to fill in that pause before the Locked On boys jumped on the bandwagon 30 seconds in.
Made some builds. I made an awesome John Wayne build. Or did I say about that last week?
I don't know if you said about it.
Because it's got even better because I've now got two 1886s that I can switch between, and one does a lot more damage than the other one.
I think the great thing
fires real fast.
The great thing is the fact that you've actually renamed the game.
What? John Wayne's The Division.
John Wayne's The Division 2. Luke, what have you been up to this week in the Division?
Just some more grinding. I'm still trying to put the final touches to about 5 builds that I've got going. So,
have you finished your shopping list for this week?
No.
When I mean shopping list, I mean obviously gear that you're chasing.
I know what you meant. Yeah. No. To be fair, with the help of Rob and Boris, the shopping list is getting smaller, but I keep thinking of things to add to it. So it's going to be a never-ending shopping list, I think.
Well, unfortunately, there was another thing you could have crossed out on that list this week, wasn't there, Rob?
Yeah, we were in the DZ last night. And not one.
Not two.
Not 3. But 4 pestilences fell into our grasps.
Motherfuckers.
So, yeah, the whole squad got a pestilence last night.
Thanks,
Luke wasn't on.
I was going to say, shout out to Chuck and Boris for joining us in the Dark Zone. We were in the ODZ last night, and to be fair, we are quite lucky we had 4 of them drop. Now, I say 4 of them, but one of them...
The first one I saw first.
I saw?
No, you didn't.
Mine?
I saw first. I picked it up.
Mine?
I died, then Mike stole it and then refused to give it back to me.
It's the Dark Zone, dude.
Very
I was just going to say,
by this.
Dark Zone rules apply.
And then Mike got on. Did you get another one? Yeah, you did.
Yep.
You got your first drop.
I got another one after that, didn't I? I got 2 drops.
Yeah, but you got your first drop, then you died, and Boris picked it up. I was like, oh no, it's going to happen again. But look, thankfully, Mike then got another one, and he gave that to me, and Boris kept. And then unbeknownst to me, that Chuck got one at some point as well, which I didn't even know until afterwards.
You kept that very, very quiet.
Well, I do remember him saying, I need to extract. I was like, oh, that kind of makes sense now.
Cheeky Chuck and his secrets.
But yeah, I've got to admit, like, I was getting my ass handed to me in like conflicts, but I'm enjoying PvP. I'm enjoying PvP at the minute. I know that's not like everyone's thought on it, but...
Yeah, no, but like, we've spent the last, 5 weeks PvEing, and we haven't really put any thought into making PvP builds, have we? It's only been this week I think we've all attempted PvP builds, right?
Yeah.
I know, for me, that's correct.
We're definitely shifting towards that kind of, right, we've done the majority of the if not all the content on like the hardest difficulty as well. You know, we've done heroic tidal basin. I think the only one, no, we did Roosevelt, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've done,
yeah, we did.
I don't think I've done heroic capital yet. Is that in the loop this week?
No, that's next week.
Right, okay. That's the only one left that we haven't done.
We haven't done. Oh, did we do? We haven't done heroic. What's the hyena one? Can't remember what it's called.
I can't remember, but I know we've done like heroic bounties this week. We've done a shit ton of bounties this week, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've done dailies, all the rest of it. So now it's kind of like we're at that point where, right, why don't we go try the Dark Zone? And the thing is, like, we're not going and jumping in any Dark Zone. It's like, right, let's go straight into the ODZ.
We were farming the ODZ and then, yeah, we PvP'd for a little bit.
The thing is, that sounds really bad. Like we were farming the DZ, but there were other teams in there, and it was basically how it felt like it was supposed to be, if you know what I mean.
I mean, we owned
with
them
other
every
players,
time.
obviously.
Yeah, and it was fairly one-sided for most of the night as well. As long as we were grouped up, like I die quite a lot. That's just normal.
That's to be expected. What was your build you were running? It was like, what, 11?
It changed. I will say that John Wayne build does not work well in the Dark Zone. It's purely PvE.
Please tell me you change your outfit when you take that build off, though, right?
No. Oh, no. Still a cowboy at heart.
I was just going to say, always a cowboy at heart.
Dude, he was streaming today with Western songs.
I literally had, yeah.
And then we ended up in a discussion
Western
with Tubby.
movie soundtracks. It was brilliant.
We ended up in a discussion about Blazing Saddles at one point, but that's a road I don't think we need to go down today.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, though.
It was good.
You know,
it's the most fun I think I've had in there in a while.
Keep hearing all this negativity about PvP in the Dark Zone and stuff, and I'm still not sold on it myself, but as you rightly said earlier, I haven't got a PvP build finished yet. So that would obviously increase my enjoyment when I'm actually not getting wrecked every time I turn a corner. But no, it's good to hear you enjoyed yourself. I'm just rather pissed off that I wasn't there. the one night in about 4 weeks that I've not played the Division, and you lot all running around the Dark Zone.
Right. Well,
that's good.
Let's get this shut done. We can go get our asses handed to us in the Dark Zone. PTS boys, have any of you had chance to jump in over the weekend?
No.
Obviously, all busy, Easter, family, and all the rest of us. Rest of it. Are you thinking about jumping into the second phase?
Yes, I would definitely. If it's this week, but I don't know. They didn't give us a date, did they? So
no, they didn't. We'll talk about that in a minute. Speaking of which, let's get straight down to the news, I guess.
State of the game. Okay,
so first up, there is a maintenance this week, April the 25th. Probably by the time this podcast is out. It's coming at 9:30 CST, and it will run for approximately 2 hours in the morning. As for the state of the game itself, Hamish was joined today by Rasmus to discuss the second phase of the PTS. So this is a whole load of stuff that's going to be added in Title Update 3 and will be tested over, I'm hopefully guessing, the next couple of weeks. Straight off the bat, they did address one thing that is affecting a lot of PC gamers, Robert.
Oh, the loading times, yeah.
Those sweet loading times.
I mean, it's pretty bad.
You could probably...
On an SSD. I can't imagine how slow it is on a mechanical drive. It must be...
Even worse?
Like, go and have a cup of tea, come back, and it'll be ready, sort of thing.
I was going to say, go put the kettle on, make a coffee.
Yeah.
Oh, look, the game's loaded.
It was really noticeable straight after that patch as well, wasn't it? Because I think that's one thing a lot of people praised the Division 2 for. It's like there's no loading screens between any content, and then the loading screen that you do get when you initially load into the game was pretty quick. But as I say, that was pretty noticeable. So
yeah, I know Boris has had a few issues, just general with PC performance. This is one of the main ones. Obviously, I had an issue last night where the PC stuttered, and the next minute I'm in a set of stairs.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Honestly, like we're running through the Dark Zone. I'm walking up to the stairs. Next minute, I'm in the stairs. I'm like, shit, I'm stuck. I can't get out.
I don't think that was...
That happened on your end?
I don't think that was client, because mine did exactly the same thing. I think it was server side. But then it didn't happen to Boris or Chuck, did it? Which is weird.
Different servers, maybe. Because
No.
we're UK servers, maybe.
Well, no, because we're in the same dark zone.
Yeah, true. That's a good point. I completely forgot about that.
It didn't make any sense. But yeah, like my character just stopped and then it moved again, and then Mike's head was popping out of the stairs.
I wonder if that was anything to do with the fact that we were joining somebody else's server.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Like if we joined a different region,
Someone else might have been transitioning into the server and causing
the whole lot to shift.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Anyway, straight into PTS changes. They're going to change the way the items that drop. Basically, the gear score of endgame items is calculated. So at the minute, anything you basically get looted, there's a good chance that it's going to be lower than your current gear score, isn't it, boys? I don't know if you guys have had this happen at all.
It's based on your average gear score, isn't it? But it's not always at that average or above. It's around it.
Yeah. Are you happy they've changed it, or does it matter? Or
yeah, no, this is going to be great. It means that we're going to get 500 stuff rather than getting loads of 496 stuff and 497 stuff.
The thing is, it doesn't overly matter that much from a gear score point of view, does it? Especially when most of it's normalized. But then you are going to have like a slight edge, perhaps, on somebody else.
But we don't know what's happening behind this. Like, because we don't know what the attribute scale is for like a 496 compared to a 500. If there's a difference at all, if there is, it's going to be marginal. But like,
would you say like a 1% drop?
Oh, we don't know.
Like a sweet pair of knees I had dropped today with 1% crit chance at 498, and I was like, is that right? I don't think that's good. But yeah. So the idea is once you hit the highest gear score, hopefully you should just see the highest gear score drops from then onwards.
Yeah.
Happy with that? Robert, I'm going to leave this one over to you because I think a lot of people were getting confused over this.
Oh, great. So you want me to explain it?
Yes. Get your Ozzy Osbourne hands out. Yell Sharon. Sharon! There is some recalibration changes coming, isn't there, Robert?
Do you want me to read it word for word?
No, just kind of like give us an overview.
Players have mentioned... I'm going to read it word for word. Okay. Players have mentioned that some cases... so basically, at the moment, there is caps. So when you say you've got a piece of gear with 4 attributes and you're moving something that's got 2 attributes or 1 attribute, and those attributes are higher because they're, as they called it, a pie. So if you've got 2 slices in a pie.
2 halves of a pie.
Halves of a pie. Yeah, that makes sense.
3.142. Yeah. Hello, Clarice. What was that? What was that?
So those halves are going to be larger numbers. And if you try to move them onto a pie that's cut into
4 pieces
or quarters, it ain't going to fit. You end up with like a weird shaped pie. So
the pie just be bigger?
No. It's not how pie works, Mike.
I know, just wondering.
Should we use pizza as a different... I think pizza would be a better analogy.
What, slices of pizza?
Yeah.
Is there pineapple on that pizza?
I don't give a fuck if there's pineapple on the pizza or not.
Wait. I just... Fuck! I missed it. Should have said jalapenos. Fuck.
Yeah, right. So now they've changed it. So, I mean... At the moment, if you maxed out that extra pie that you were putting into your original pie... You would go to 515 if it was a 500 gear score piece. But now they've removed that and just given the pieces a recalibration score. That's not what I said.
This is to do with gear score cap, though, isn't it? So basically, like literally what we were talking about a second ago with the gear score drop changes, the difference between like a 496 and a 498 might be 1%, but it might be capped as well. And you're trying to put it into like a completely different piece that could be capped either higher or lower.
Yeah.
So they've basically, for anything you're getting recalibrated, they're just dropping the gear score by the looks of it to 100.
In
so
layman's
it fits straight
terms,
in there.
they've just made the cap very hard to reach. You can still do it if, say, you have a weighted, like a piece of gear that's weighted to one stat and the rest of the stats are shit, and then you have another piece that's weighted and you swap that stat onto the other stat that's not weighted. I'm confusing myself now.
Wouldn't it be better to use an example? So I know from you chasing gear that Alps roll with one attribute.
Right.
On them,
Okay. Yeah. Right. I've got a Alps chest piece with over 1,000 skill power on it.
Wait. Can I just? Where's the pizza gone?
Shut up.
We've eaten it.
The other stat is like 5k health or something stupid. If I was then to get another Alps chest with like 25k health, which does exist, and then try and put that 25k onto that chest piece, I would probably cap out. That is an extreme.
In the game now, you mean you would cap
Yes.
out?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, no, I would at the game now, I would definitely cap out.
Yes.
Like something like probably 6 or 7k health. But after the new system comes in, I can probably get probably not the whole 25k, but because that's a god roll chest. So, yeah.
You're going to be able to get as close to
100, it. I would hit 100 recalibration score, basically.
Yeah, but
which would then
get
cap
a lot.
me.
You'd get a lot more of that 25k.
Yes, you would.
Say
You'd
20,
get more like
22.
23 or something like that, yeah.
Which is a lot more that you're going to get currently in the game because, like, for example, if I could imagine if you've got like 11% LMG damage and you're trying to put that onto a 2 attribute roll onto a different like pair of gloves, that you can like most of them drop with 5%.
Yeah.
So it's going to cap it straight down to 5%, isn't it?
Yeah, and as a tip for anyone that now knows this and is going to farm for stuff, watch out for purple Alps chests, because I've had one drop with 12.5% weapon damage, and earlier I had one drop with 17% crit chance, and then I had one yesterday that had 18.5% headshot damage.
What?
Yeah.
My shopping list just got longer.
So I can then move those stats onto...
My stash space just got smaller. Can we please make the stash great again? The only issue I can see popping up with this, because obviously people were complaining about the fact, you're transferring one stat from one piece of gear to another, and you're not retaining all of it. Do we think the next issue that people are going to now complain about is the fact that they can't creep up their gear score to the maximum, to higher than the maximum? Because you know what our community's like. We love you, but we got a bit crazy.
Well, because if you have, I know we can now, after this update, we'll be able to get to 515, but then if you have 100% recalibration score on all your pieces and they're all gear score 500, they're going to be better than 515 gear anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then it kind of goes back to the whole thing that gear score is somewhat irrelevant.
This is going to make the min-maxers a lot happier.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's better for the min-maxers, but to go on your comment, Mike, I don't think it's completely irrelevant, but it's just the power creep is so small that it might as well be irrelevant. Especially if the higher you are closer to that 100 recalibration score, the less and less and less it matters.
I was just thinking, cast your minds back to last week's episode where they're discussing like the PvP changes. Weren't they saying that whatever your attributes were are now being transferred over into, is it normalized PvP?
Only if it unlocked something. So if you'd got
Is it only if it was unlocked? Right,
yeah.
okay.
So if you, the way I understood what they meant last week, and I've not had a chance to watch this week's State of the Game in case they clarified anything from last week.
They
but
didn't
basically,
mention
it was
anything about
like how you used to need all stam rolls for pred bleed in Division 1, and then you went into skirmish and you would lose your 9k stamina proc on the extra pred bleed. In this game, because you'd unlocked it in the open world, it would stay unlocked even if the normalization brought it down because your gear unlocked it anyway.
Right, okay, just very quickly reading back to last week's notes, it does say that they're respecting the rolls on your gear, which is going to mean that if you have, for example, an item with high crit chance, it will be that in normalized content. So this should, in theory, appease PvPers. It's kind of giving a bigger gap to the people that don't know how to build stuff to the people that just chuck together a build and then jump in PvP.
It's giving you a pie and eating it too, right?
Pie, pizza,
cake,
whatever you guys want to choose. No, it's not. It's not cake. The cake is a fucking lie.
Are you two okay?
No, we're good. Chilled out. Why?
You both just sound really hungry. Pie,
I'm now
pizza.
Just need Brad to jump on with his fucking Reese's Pieces, fucking buttercup things.
I don't know whether we've got this anywhere else in the notes, but they are changing the amount of materials. That's what I want to say. That you can hold.
Yeah, they increased it to like 600.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. Which is good, which means you can actually like recalibrate a whole gear set, I guess.
Yeah. I was going to say very quickly as well, they've also, for anyone that is on the PTS, they've added a crafting material cache, haven't they?
Yeah, because
apparently
there was a lot of people bitching about that.
So they went, fuck you. Here's so much crafting material that you don't know what the fuck you're going to do with it.
But that's a good idea, though, because it gives people the opportunity to test whatever the fuck they want, don't they? And that's kind of the point of a PTS. So,
yeah, I'm surprised we haven't had any. I don't know, like brand caches and all the rest of it, and gear set caches so people can just kind of grab the gear, recalibrate it, roll it, and all the rest of it.
You can get caches that give you loads of gear.
Right. Okay. I apologize. I haven't been on the PTS yet, but
I'm not sure how they're organized. I don't think it's brand. I think it's just random. You get one piece of everything, like a mask, knee pads, chest.
Okay. They did actually go into mods today, didn't they? They talked about high end versus purple and blue mods.
Yes,
and it was quite interesting because, you know, there's been like this whole thing that the game's broken, like blue mods and purple mods shouldn't have higher stats. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of been put out there because of that.
They also have tiptoed lightly around it as well, because they haven't just said, no, you can't use blue mods anymore.
No, they've gone, fuck you. You can craft.
Yeah, they've mods. All those cunts that have grinded for them, you can now craft them.
What's up, Luke?
Just a terrible, terrible idea.
Well, they actually gave a reason for it, though, is the fact that like you can get high stats on a high-end mod, but you'll get other stuff as well. Whereas like blue and purple will either give you one or two high stats in comparison.
Yeah, it to me.
So you have to make a choice and a sacrifice, and that's what they're giving you the option. Whereas,
I mean, it's their game; they can do what they want with. But I don't agree that it should be a sacrifice. If you're getting a gold mod, it should be better than a purple one.
I agree with that,
and that in turn should be better than a blue one. Now, I understand what their excuse was. Obviously, the budget over the stats. You get so much of your pizza that you can put into a mod, and if you're only using basically the same way that the attributes work, if you've got something with one attribute on it, you get all of the budget of that attribute into that one attribute. Whereas if you on a high-end mod, obviously you've got 2 or 3 perks to that mod, so the budget for those numbers is split, quote unquote, equally over those 3 pieces, 3 stats. A blue one and a purple one will only have 1 or 2 stats, so you get more of the share of the budget in that stat. But to me, that's wrong. They should lower the stat budget so that they kind of are parallel. So that then when you get a purple one, if you're getting 2 versions of that one stat, they can still be of the same value, but you're getting 2 of them. So you'd get skill power and weapon damage, which probably doesn't exist, but just as an example. And then when you get a gold one, you get skill power, armor, and weapon damage.
Yeah,
you're not sacrificing. It's like weapon mods. When weapon mods were really bad, nobody was using them because they effectively made your build worse or your weapon worse. Now they've kind of fixed it. Getting a mod is an increase on your weapon. Gear mods should be the same, in my opinion. But I mean, it's like I said before, it's their game. They can do the system how they want to. I just don't necessarily agree with it.
I think it's going to be a case of, and I'll use your words, the game's been out, what, 6 weeks now? No, a month, 4 weeks. A month. Are we in April? Yeah, it was a month on Monday, wasn't it?
5 weeks.
5 weeks. Let's see what happens. But the fact that they're now allowing people to craft it means I don't think this is going to be the end or be all of this situation. I think they might still change it yet again. I think they're making it craftable so they can see what the general player base is going to do with these mods.
Making them craftable doesn't fix the quote-unquote broken system of it. All it does is level the playing field so anybody can put a 10% blue weapon damage mod in if they are lucky enough to craft one.
Yeah,
therefore you don't have to spend. Yeah, you don't have to spend the time leveling a character up to level 18 and running around the dark zone.
I think if that is the case, you should have higher ends that roll better than the lower ones constantly, because if you look at like some of the drops you get like a health one where they can range from anything 1,000 to 3,000. They should just roll higher, but have like a higher. But it should be like, I don't know, 3,000 to 4,000 approximately, rather than between 1 and 3.5k health roll. It seems like such a huge gap, and then to have like a purple that can roll higher anyway. I don't. Yeah, I know. I understand where you're coming from.
So you don't want to have the pie economy on mods? Is that what you're trying to say? You don't want to have, because you've got 3 stats on the high end, the slices are smaller. You want the slices to be the same size, but have a bigger pie.
I want the slices to be the same size, but the pizza to get bigger.
Yeah,
the better quality mod you've got. So you get an 8-inch pizza for blue.
So if you can get
10-inch pizza for purple,
if you can get a 6% AR damage on your blue, you should better get that on purple and yellow.
Yes,
but maybe the second and third stats should be smaller in comparison. So like, if, for example, you got 3 stats, whatever the top one should be the main stat, and then the following 2 should be slightly smaller if they're going to use the pie analogy.
But the thing is that
rather than buffing the gold ones, I would say lower the blue and purple ones. So have the gold ones as the base.
I disagree.
Well, that's fine.
I think you need to buff the other 2, because there's more attributes. The chance of getting a gold roll per yellow is really because there's so much variation with those mods. Because there's so there's loads of weird stats like crit chance, range, and like weird things like that. Like, yeah, I think, yeah.
So you're basically saying it would be better if they were all the same standard rather than, and then just have basically 1 stat, 2 stat, 3 stat.
Yeah.
Well, if you're happy,
they might have to adjust the NPC difficulty. The thing, yeah,
that's why I said lower than.
Yeah, no, you kind of, yeah. Now I've thought about it, that kind of makes more sense to lower it, but then that'll just piss people off that have grinded for them.
They would. I want to say manipulating the game as such, but they kind of were, because I don't think the system is quite right. I get it. The system is in the game, therefore you can use it if you want to. But to me, that's not how it.
The thing is that they've just imitated the same system that is on the gear, thinking, "Oh, that'll be fine, it'll work," but it clearly doesn't. It needs a separate system.
Okay, do you want to talk about the additional mod, Luke? Have you heard about this?
Only because I've been reading while you guys have been talking.
Cool. Okay, so there is a new auxiliary battery mod which will be added to the game once the title update goes live. Okay, so the current issue, obviously, skill power, big thing. Currently, most of the player base is using lower skill power mods, would you say, on gear to actually get to use. Oh my god, I can't even talk now. Yeah, to basically have any upgrades to your skills at all. So you've got to have stupidly lower power ones, because some are 1.5k, 2.5k, but you get the odd one that's 600-700 skill power.
Yeah.
And basically they're going to add battery mods which should basically buff certain mod slots to give you. It's basically going to give you additional skill power, isn't it, Rob?
Yeah, but it's specific for that skill. So
yes,
I'm assuming that they're going to be quite high, like 500, 600 skill power, and then you're going to have to put that into a mod slot. So say you want a decent pulse, and you've got about 1,400 skill power, and you put one of these mod slots in, you get up to 2.2k, and that allows you to run decent mods in your other 2 slots that are on your pulse.
But at the cost of sacrificing,
so you lose that mod slot.
Yeah, so you basically use the auxiliary battery mods instead of your offensive or defensive or skill power slots.
Right.
Mod slots.
That was the question I'd got, because I'd not quite read that far. Is this a new mod for a new slot or not? But that's answered that question.
So you're still going to be able to you're still going to, if you want to use high-end mods, you're still going to have to run, because they didn't really give any numbers, but I'm assuming you're still going to have some skill power in your build, because I doubt you're going to be able to get a AAA battery mod, which I want to call them from now on. That's going to give you 2.2k skill power, which is most.
Well, you don't want that, do you?
Yeah, but be a bit broken.
Yeah, that would be stupidly broken if you can pick up a battery mod that gives, if you can.
But now we have the ability to. We're gonna. Well, we haven't got to. Have we got to? We haven't got.
Yeah,
to
we can have the ability
yet.
to kind of craft them. Yeah, basically these have a chance of dropping if you craft a skill mod, or you'll just find them as general drops in your loot, won't you?
They've said they're going to give us the ability to craft purple and blue mods, right?
Yes, so it's going to
be. They
didn't
didn't really
of
say which ones, because there's. Yeah. Okay. But that worries me a little bit. But yeah, that kind of leads us on to the new blueprint vendor, does it not?
It might be worth actually saying though that the aux batteries are actually they're going to replace
AAA
your
batteries.
skill mod slot completely. So you're not going to be able to run anything else in those at all, are you? You won't have the additional attributes. You're literally just going to have the battery mods.
Yeah.
I really hope that isn't the case, that we can.
Yeah, because you could put all. Let's say you've got 3 mod slots, you could run all AAA battery mods, but then you wouldn't be able to do anything.
That scares me, though. That really does scare me.
Why is that? That shouldn't scare you, because the whole point to have high skill power is to run the skill mods. Those are what improve your skills dramatically. Nothing else does.
But you only need a skill slot. You don't need high skill power. So I'm hoping that it doesn't buff it that much.
That's what I mean.
That you can kind of have like tanky or DPS builds kind of.
I would hope they're about
fruition.
500, 600. So even with using up one mod slot with an AA battery mod, that you still need to run skill power in your build.
I think that should be the case. Yeah. You need to bump whatever the batteries are. I'm hoping you can't just run these on any.
So if you've got no skill power whatsoever,
I don't want that to be.
They'll be useless to you.
Hopefully, yeah.
Right.
Hopefully, but that's not
because you would have to run like 3 AAA batteries to get anywhere near 2K.
How do you feel about this? How do you feel about this change instead of just changing the skill power to scale instead?
Well, that may happen eventually, but I don't know. Skills seem to be second choice in Division 2. They're not like in Division 1, you could build a tactician build and literally you could just not use your guns. You could just use skills to kill things, right?
See, it's weird though, because everyone's seen this as a problem. And this is the one thing I kind of feel like we've always said though. I don't know, maybe it was just me, but I've kind of always been of the mindset that it's gunplay and skills as a backup in addition to the gunplay.
That's how they've gone.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. I know there's a lot of people complaining about that.
But there was a lot of people that used to just play with their skills.
That's how a lot of people were solo in the legendaries, wasn't it? Just going with a crazy high skill power build and let your seekers and your sticky bomb do all the work.
Yeah. But now it's not the case. You can do that. I mean, I'm all for like skills being powerful if you're speccing into that. But if you're not, I just don't want it to be a situation where you've got DPS and tank builds that are really high skill power, because for me, that's like the mage character in an RPG, and it shouldn't be that.
The fact that not many of the skills are now drop and forget anyway, are they? You have to kind of...
Some of them are. Some of them you have to like prep beforehand.
But like back in Division 1, like majority of them would just like drop and forget about them and they would do something.
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't have a turret on wheels, to be honest, in the Division 1.
Wait for it.
It could happen.
I mean, the NPCs have RPC,
Johnny
RC
Fives.
cars and Johnny Fives.
Imagine deploying your own mini Johnny 5.
Imagine having your own doggo.
But it looks like Wally from Wally.
Wally.
I was waiting for that.
Eva.
They're changing blueprints, aren't they, Rob?
Mm-hmm.
So all the blueprints that are being sold from other vendors elsewhere are going to basically be moved to Inea, the crafting NPC, which is pretty cool. The fact you just go to the crafting bench and there's all the blueprints ready to buy.
Jokes on all the people that grinded all those level 3s checkpoints.
Is she going to have all of them available, or is it more like what Mike said? So the ones that were available on a weekly rotation at the vendors would now just be available from the crafting vendor?
I'm assuming that they're just putting all the ones that were available in one place, so you don't have to. Because how many people like missed the other ones?
No, I think there's still like 3 pools, didn't they say? But one, like a lot of the stuff she's going to sell.
Yeah.
That isn't in the game if you haven't already got it. Like, because. And then there's going to be 3 ways to get. No, do they say there's going to be 3 crafting ones? You know how there's only one weekly now.
Yeah,
there's going to be 3. There's going to be 1 from each settlement.
I don't know if they went into that. I know there's at least the ability to.
Read the notes.
Yeah, I was just you have the ability to earn 3 blueprints per week as part of the new daily project that's coming through the new blueprint sources scheme, where you basically donate crafting materials to get a blueprint
daily.
Via a date. That's the daily project. Which
but there's also 2 new weeklies, so there'll be 3 in total.
But then you can also get them from control points, vendors, and, as we said before, projects. So there's a lot. I think they're basically eliminating the fact that there's only 1 or 2 good ways of doing it.
Well, at the moment, if you've done all your checkpoints and you're at
control
points, same thing. You're like set at like 64, 65 mods, and then the rest, the last 12, unless they've put it up, they might have put it up because I remember someone saying that it was 93 in the PTS. So yeah, I don't know. Be cool if they have put it up, more variation.
It does seem to be. I think they're just trying to make it easier for players to get those, because obviously there was a huge amount of complaints with the control point difficulty.
Yeah. Well, no. Once you've done all the control points, though, you're stuck to 1 a week.
Yeah, but you're saying once you've done the control points, if you can't do those control points on a higher level difficulty,
get better.
See, there's the first signs of it coming out. That's harsh.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
But this is to make it easier for people to obtain those. So there's going to be other methods to doing it, isn't there? To actually receiving these blueprints. The other thing they did finally say, after much chatter about last week, the 515 drops. Guess what, guys? They're not exclusive to the Dark Zone.
We knew that anyway.
Yeah.
They were just confirming it.
Yes. I'm pretty sure Julian put out a tweet. Don't worry, guys. We got you.
We got you, bro.
Yeah,
he didn't literally say it in those words, but...
He did, yeah. It was a day or 2 after the state of the game last week where everybody was losing their shit because, I don't want to go in the Dark Zone.
He held a meeting and was probably like, well, maybe that was a bad idea.
I don't want to go in the Dark Zone.
Nice big fat piece of content. I don't want to go in there. I don't like it.
So 515 loot confirmed
it's still
from the raid?
Yeah, of course there will be.
It's still going to be what, sorry?
It's still going to be more lucrative to go in the Dark Zone, though, if you want 515 gear stuff.
Dude, if it's anything like the Pestilence was yesterday, damn straight. That's what I'll say.
Especially now they're increasing your Dark Zone bag size. So you can, what did we say it was last week? 10 if you unlock all the perks.
Yeah.
10 loot items at once. That's going to be pretty damn lucrative. Let's farm the ODZ.
Yeah, I think that's it really for news. Apart from there's a couple of minor things. It's been, there's a huge ammo problem, especially I suppose if you're doing heroic missions, especially if you've got an SMG by any chance.
Yeah, any auto fire weapon. The DZ was quite tough last night with ammo.
I'd be interested to know what the chance of ammo dropping is when you're low.
Well, it's obviously too low.
Well, obviously, but what is it, like a 30%, 40% chance? Or I'm here asking you guys, but you don't know either, unless you know.
Yeah, no, I'll just look it up.
Okay.
Beep 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 beep. I know one thing. It was a lot more generous
35%.
in Division 1 when you were low on ammo. That's something I noticed very early in that game. As soon as you go below like a certain threshold of ammo left in your inventory,
Oprah comes out.
Yeah, NPCs would just throw bullets at you.
Yeah, it was the same with medkits as well. If you were like on 0 medkits, you just get medkits galore. And you don't pick one up until you've got like 6 on the screen.
Next
full
up,
of medkits again.
Next up, hardwired gear set. This is the one that you need to find all the parts for to craft. They basically increase the gear score from 480 to 500, so you'll get
the range
a better chance of a higher gear score set close to 500, because it was a lot lower than that previously, wasn't it?
Does that mean that that be retroactively buffing the one that I made that was 457?
No, do it again.
Fucking bastards.
And finally, for those of you chasing the Apparel event, it's coming to a close this week. So you're not going to be able to get any more invasion keys from projects or drops. And then after May 2nd, the Black Tusk uniform can no longer be obtained.
I told you, Mike. I told you that on stream earlier, and you're like, no, I'm pretty sure you can still get it.
I thought it was moving into the apparel cache.
Everything else is, apart from that. Like, so you have to get everything in this event, and then you get that. It's like yeah.
It's quite a cheeky way of doing it, isn't it? Have like some apparel that's like everyone's kind of sought after.
You must be close to finishing it by now.
Yeah, I was 18 or 20.
Even
I've 30.
Even I finished it, Mike. So you must be damn close.
Yeah, I'm a little bit short. So sad.
Sad face.
Anyway, let's move on to discussions and IFMs, apparently. So, Game with Weezer, whilst we were streaming yesterday, dropped us in a sweet IFM. He says, I started a conversation about a way to promote more intense interactions in the Dark Zone. My idea is instead of being able to avoid as much PvP encounters as possible, it would be to increase chances of coming across more agents, either to help them or to increase total carnage. My idea is to have players loot for their flare gun in the Dark Zone. First thoughts. Luke, I'm going to go to you on this one. You have to craft or loot your flare gun in the Dark Zone, much like another mode.
I like it. Thus far.
Okay.
Wait, you haven't thought about it. You haven't thought through it yet.
No. I like the premise up to that point. I could see there's at least 5 lines of text left after that. But yeah, as a basic idea that players have to loot or craft a flare gun when they're in the Dark Zone to therefore be able to extract the loot that they get in the Dark Zone, I think that's a great idea.
Okay, so just to
continue, there was only one in that Dark Zone.
There can be only one.
I was going to say, this isn't Highlander, Rob.
Yeah, but what if it was? What if there's only one...
Highlander?
No, fuck you.
Sean Connery?
What if there's only one flare gun per Dark Zone?
As long as you drop it by killing a player that's carrying it, fine.
Yeah,
carry on.
No, obviously that would be
what happens when you've used it? Is that it? There's no more flare guns in that Dark Zone ever again?
Just once you've got the flare gun,
no, someone else has to craft it.
Or once you've got the flare gun, all you need is more flares. Just because you've used a flare gun, you don't break it, do you? You just need more flares. So,
you have to craft the flare gun, right? But once you've got that,
can I finish?
You have to find a flare from somewhere.
Flares drop like
random
specialization ammo. Anyway, continue, Mike.
Sorry.
Okay, so like just to
keep reading.
We're on board so far.
We've hijacked Weezer's idea.
We're on board so far?
We've twisted it to our own.
This could happen by any combination of either looting it from NPCs, doing a Thieves' Den run to get it from the vendor, or possibly crafting it in the safe house. Yes, camping could be an issue. Couldn't you imagine the intensity of getting an exotic, pestilence anyone, and having to run around looking for a flare gun or another extraction to get it out? Could you imagine trying to extract 4 pestilences whilst looking for a flare gun? Just putting that out there. Yeah, he basically said to expand on the idea, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on the next episode.
What if, once you picked up a flare gun, it took over one of your skill slots? So you held it like when you hold the chem launcher in your hand, you held it like that. It'd be hilarious if you could kill someone with a flare gun.
What if it took over one of your main weapons?
Somebody downed over by the extraction point, you shoot the flare gun and it sets them on fire.
It could be a sidearm as well, I guess.
No, because you can put sidearm away. You're not using this sidearm.
But that's what I mean, like skill. If you use it for as a skill, you're taking away one of your skills. That's kind of a big thing.
As long as the flare
vulnerability.
I was going to say, as long as the flare gun is as big and heavy as the fuses in the Division 1.
Well, so you can't run when you're holding it.
No, and the extraction is fucking miles away.
That'd be brutal.
Can you imagine the teamwork to get that flare gun to the extraction?
Would there be an icon above your head?
Yes.
You had a loaded flare gun.
No, actually, no. I'm going to say, I think you would get a notification, an audio cue, much like an extraction is inbound or something like that.
Yeah.
Flare gun crafted or something. and then people can be looking.
By certain.
No, I don't even think you need to do that. No, because I think the minute you do that, the fact that someone has had to.
His idea starts with creating more conflict in the PvP dark zones.
Yeah, I agree with that. But you're already by the fact that there's only one person with a flare gun, you've picked it up, and when they get to an extraction, because you could pick that up within the first 5 minutes of being in there, and not have anything to loot. If you see what I mean.
Let's make it separate systems. So Mike's system in the dark zone, Rob's system in the occupied dark zone. So
what's my system? I don't understand.
Yours would be the one where it tells you who has crafted the flare gun in the ODZ. You go and find that person. Mike's is that somebody has crafted the flare gun in the dark zone.
And then you just keep an eye out for the extraction.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do.
You wouldn't go and craft it if you didn't have anything to loot. Like if you had loot, if you didn't have loot, you wouldn't go in and craft it first.
But then you switch it back to the fact that you can have it drop off an NPC. So if you have it drop within the first 5 minutes,
I don't think you'd be able to do it where it drops from an NPC because that's RNG based, isn't it? So
I think
I like Weezer's idea that it's a thieves' den thing.
I like that.
Yeah.
So you could do it. I think you should be able to do it two ways. There's either through the rogue mechanics, right? Because you can kill players and all the rest of it and steal their loot, or you can go to the thieves' den. Or you have to basically go to all the landmarks and you get a fragment of the flare gun, and then you have to go craft it. So you're generating loot. So you're going to see people on these routes, and maybe you can pick up the fragments from other players if you kill them.
I feel like extraction zones might get camped. So if you pick up some loot you want, you go hang around the extraction zone, wait for someone to turn up with a thing, kill them.
But that's no different. Is that any different to you pulling an extraction and other people coming over anyway?
Yeah, it's not much different, is it?
It's like an advance of cutting the rope, isn't it, essentially, I guess?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the manhunt stations, isn't it? You knowing, like, kind of knowing where they're going to extract and the rest of it. Plus, how many extractions are there in dark zones? It's like 2 or 3?
Two. Always 2.
So you've always got like a 50% chance of knowing which way they're going to go. Well, as long as you kind of get a notification.
If you're making the flare gun craftable, can we trim the extraction timer down just a touch?
If we're making it craftable, do they have to collect pieces
of 8
to craft it?
Yeah, that's what I just said.
What?
Yeah,
but thanks. Basically, you go to the landmarks, so you have like the PvE side of it, or you can obtain it through the rogue means by going to the thieves' den vendor. So you can either go to landmarks and you kill named bosses, which give you.
So you want a PvE way of doing it, and you want a PvP way of doing it.
Yeah,
and then you want a grey way of doing it, which would be the thieves' den, I guess.
Thieves' den where you would buy it from. But you don't need the special MREs or whatever they are, the special materials to use the Thieves' Den to get the flare gun, because the flare gun needs to be a little bit more available. So literally, you just walk in.
You have to donate a piece of loot or something.
Yeah, donate a piece of loot, or it just happens to be in a little chest box that you can unlock, much like the special ammo when you've actually unlocked the Thieves' Den. Because you have to do quite a lot to actually unlock the Thieves' Den anyway, don't you? So you've actually made quite a conscious effort to do that.
Yeah. The rogue one, simple. Manhunt.
Steal it. Well, no, steal it from some other player.
No. You have to survive manhunt status. And it has a chance of dropping to 1. And I think this should be the case in all of these things. Only one person
per group can have it.
1 person per group. And it's lost upon death.
Yeah, it's definitely dropped upon death.
No, I think...
Oh, do you mean lost, not dropped, lost?
Oh, I kind of like it because it's brutal. But
again, all right, split the dark zones.
DZ,
yeah. Dark zone, it's lost. Open dark zone, it's dropped on death, both occasions.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards Dark Souls on this, yeah.
And it doesn't matter how you die. So if NPCs fuck you up, flare gun gone.
Yeah.
I mean, that would make it slightly hardcore. That would probably cause some problems, but still. I mean, we'll probably get called elitist for that, but still.
To be fair, dude, I feel like we were trying to make like a case for both sides. If not,
Yeah, until my point at the end and I ruined it.
no, it's fine. If not, just hand them out at the checkpoints.
You get one if you manage to destroy a turret at the checkpoint.
That's fucking weird. But you have to be rogue.
Well, obviously.
Before we move on, can I just say, fantastic idea, Weezer. Well played, dude.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good idea. Obviously, if anyone else has an idea for Massive or IFM, as we call them, send them in. We'll love to chat about them.
Or a variation of what we just discussed.
I was going to say, send them in so we can dissect them and make them even worse.
Give them our elitist view on them.
Anyway, moving on to questions. Luke, do you want to take the first question?
So Quint says, not so much a question, but more something to discuss. We've seen 2 instances where Division agents have been not only killed, but strung up from ceilings over 2 missions thus far. People say it's hunters, but they never did this before. Might it be something else? Something far more known to hang its victims up after shedding their skin, something already introduced into the Ubisoft Tom Clancy universe. Wink, discuss.
Come on, Rob.
What does he mean by that?
Rob, do your best Arnold impression. Come on, kill me. Do it. He's on the spot.
What are you on about?
I think he means predators.
Oh, yeah, because that's in
Ghost Recon. Wildlands. And it's connected. The universe is officially connected because of the audio logs that are found in Ghost Recon.
Oh, yeah.
It's a very good point. He did say, what if the hunters aren't top of the food chain after all?
What if it's a Rainbow Six agent?
Hello, Sledge.
Yeah, Sledge is just hanging people up to dry.
Trying to think what other Rainbow Six people it is. But yeah, that's a very good thought. I didn't think about that. We've seen a few of them now, haven't we? That's a good catch if it is. Future content?
Future crossover, maybe?
Could be in one of the episodes or something, couldn't it? Extra lore that comes out.
Do you reckon we'll get because they did a Rainbow Six thing in Wildlands. Do you reckon they'll do like a Wildlands thing in Division and maybe like a Rainbow Six thing?
Do you want it?
Yes, I do. Give it to me now.
Because to be fair, one of the dudes from Rainbow Six, I can't remember his name, looks like a hunter. What's his name?
Who's the
You mean the Korean dude?
Yeah, he's got the mask.
You mean Vigil?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vigil.
Who's Vigil? Cheers, Boris. Who's the agent in R6 that gives you, or you can apply the Division skin to his weapon, the UMP?
Pulse.
He'd work in Division for definite.
Yep,
his name's
Pulse,
Paul.
I was going to say, what, because of his name?
Well, his name and his
Pulse,
skill
idiot.
and his weapon skin.
Okay. Rob, do you want to take the next one?
No. Hi guys, this is from Nath Prodigy. It might be a well-worn topic, but just wanted to hear your thoughts on how Division 2 is handling the environmental variety. I managed to get to Tidal Basin yesterday, and even though I enjoyed it, I still felt quite similar. It still felt quite similar to the environments played in previously. That doesn't make sense.
It does if you read it properly.
Oh, sorry.
I managed to get to Tidal Basin yesterday, and even though I enjoyed it, it still felt quite similar to environments previously played in.
Shh. Why didn't you fucking read it then?
Because I wasn't asked to. I read the last one.
I do think they have improved this over Division 1. Museum Mission, etc. Yeah, it's brilliant. Other games, Destiny, can get away with... I had to whisper it, by the way. Great variety due to the sci-fi settings. How do you think Division 2 can improve on this? Do you think this will be helped with the Episode 1 DLC, where we'll be heading away from the open world map? Yeah, it's going to expand from what we know. I, for one, think all the missions are fairly varied.
I think they do a really good job to make it as varied as they have. There's definitely like some standout set pieces, but I know where you're coming from. There's definitely like an aesthetic that is quite samey, and because we're stuck on Earth, you can't, and you're in a city, and you can't really get away from that. It's not like you can go the Division, the Moon, can you? And
there is two other
maybe you can.
factions that we haven't really encountered properly yet in missions, which is going to be cool when they do come into play. Because they're going to have their own themes, their own bosses, their own exotics.
I think they can. I don't know if you've been into the Dark Zone, Nath, but like that is something they've done really well. The aesthetic difference between all three Dark Zones, like they've done a really good job there. I wonder if that's something. I kind of agree. I wonder if we will see more variation in the upcoming DLCs, because like we went and what was it, the underground areas of the Dark Zone?
Oh no, there was a hole. We found a hole.
Yeah, we found a hole and went down.
And then it led to what looked like. Yeah, it was like it's something from Survival in Division 1. Like there was just loads of, you get those areas that are kind of underground, but they're not underground. Like there's just like train tracks, but don't go anywhere. Sort of like, what was that mission? Shit, what was that mission we farmed over and over again?
Lexington?
No, not that one.
I know you love that one.
The fun one that we did on challenge over and over again. It's the cleaner one.
Oh, yeah.
With the 3 bosses at the end.
All I'm thinking of is Hudson.
Is it Hudson?
I don't think it was.
No.
I know which one you mean, yeah.
But, like, yeah. It felt a lot like that, but there was loads of trains and stuff everywhere. But we were underground, like we were below a extraction area, and yeah, it was very different.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see if that opens up a little bit more. Let's have to see. I mean, we might see more stuff in year 2. I don't know yet if we get year 2.
We will.
Well, we'll see.
No, we will.
Next question comes from Seamaster GMT, and he says, "Hi guys, I would like to know what the relationship is between Ubisoft, Massive, and Red Storm. How does each studio contribute to the making and distribution of the Division series?"
Well, it's like a big pie.
It's like
they all have a slice of the pie, and then we eat it.
No, Ubisoft eat it.
Yeah, well, they package it and then we eat it.
I feel like Massive, if you want to use the cooking analogy, I would say that Massive is the head chef, Red Storm is like
the sous chef,
and Ubisoft is probably like the manager.
The dishwasher.
I don't think Ubisoft is the dishwasher, dude. No, but like being honest, like Massive run the show on the Division. You've got all these studios working in hand with them, and I take it that Massive, decide to some degree who does what. Like in terms of PvP, Red Storm is going to be your go-to because they spent so many years working on the Ghost Recon franchise, didn't they? And they were known for PvP.
Ubisoft is the publisher.
Yeah.
They're the money.
So they raise the funds and obviously sign off on the fact that, yes, they're okay to spend all this money on this next IP, and Massive do all the main...
Yeah, they do all the work, and then
all the main shit.
They subcontract some stuff
to other studios.
To Red Storm,
Leamington, Annecy, and all the rest of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
If we have completely fucked that up, then let us know. And when I mean fucked it up, I'm on about the whole cooking
pie thing.
Yeah, the pie thing. Luke,
it is a lovely pie.
Can you take the next one by any chance? Because I know you're quite interested in skill mods and how it scales and stuff.
He doesn't want to hear me read again.
No, I don't mind if you read again.
So DeathChain19 says, here's what I think. Skill mods and armor talent should scale with skill power and attribute counts, respectively. Brackets, rather than having hard thresholds at all. His skill mod example is thus. Skill mod that decreases cooldown would decrease cooldown very slightly if you have low skill power, and decrease cooldown drastically if you have 2k plus skill power. Yellow mods would have a higher scale factor than purple mods, etc., etc. An armor talent example would be patience would repair small amounts of armor per tick if you only have 3 blue attributes, but would repair very large amounts of armor per tick if you've built a 9+ build with blue attributes. All mods and talents, I think, should be usable with every build to make them not completely useless while leveling and building a good build, but only come into really impressive effectiveness once you have the right attributes. An interesting chain of thought. I don't necessarily completely disagree with you.
Linear rather than stationary stats.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with linear.
It's just hard to code, I imagine. When it comes to making a game, I imagine it's like difficult to do.
It's like you said earlier, Rob, like the fact of having different systems. They must be like, do we want a different system? Or are we just going to run the same system?
Yeah, copy and paste.
I know it's not, but there's a lot more thought gone into it than that. But yeah,
This is brilliant. This will probably happen eventually. I'm not going to lie. I think this is probably what they're going to work towards, but it's probably a lot of hard work.
I think skill mods definitely. I don't know if we'll ever see that with regards to armor mods.
Yeah, that would be hard to balance. I think the reason why they've gone with stationary rather than a linear is linear is going to be a pain in the ass.
NOP in some circumstances.
Yeah. But then when you get what they're doing in the PTS, when they do it like 11 stat rolls to one thing, it's becoming a little bit stupid.
Yeah. He did leave a link because he has posted it over on the Ubisoft forums. If you have anything similar that you want to post or any ideas like that, make sure to post them over on the Ubisoft forums. I will leave a link to the post that he's sent in to us in our show notes. Okay, very quickly we had some feedback this week, boys. Rob, you do a YouTube video every week.
Do I?
Yes, I just thought I'd remind you. So first off, huge thank you not only to Rob for putting the video out there, but for the people that do check out the video, it is appreciated by all of us. First one is from Jimmy Arnold, and he said, my workday blew up and went to shit. So I'm amped up to have this on as I keep grinding away on work stuff. Exactly what I needed. Hopefully.
Definitely watch. Oh, I was going to say watch this week. But if you already listened to this, then you probably won't go and watch it. But there's going to be footage of the John Wayne build.
Oh, God.
It's secretly just Red Dead Redemption footage, copy and pasted from YouTube.
Were you recording last night when exotics were raining from the DZ gods?
No.
Yeah, well, I don't know why you didn't do that. Andre Rafferty says, great podcast. I found out this week you guys are on Spotify. Thank you very much for making the daily commute enjoyable. Thank you for listening every week. He posts a comment every week on the podcast, so huge shout out to him for checking it out over on YouTube. We did have, that's the good feedback. Do you guys want the bad feedback? We actually had some bad feedback.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, keep it balanced.
Yeah, keep it balanced. Okay, I thought the first one, I hope he's okay. If you're listening still now, I hope you're okay. I mean, it was 19th of March. A little bit late on this one. I apologize. But he said, don't listen whilst driving. 1 star. That was a review on one of the podcast places.
Oh, that was a sleepy face.
Yeah, a sleepy face. That's from primalkevw.uk. I hope you didn't crash your car.
Do you mean that though?
Well, careful.
I genuinely do.
I said balance.
I hope he's okay. Second one comes from Bama Guard. And we have been classed as another elitist gaming podcast. They say, if you are new to the division or play more casually, this podcast will probably really annoy you. These guys laugh and complain about any proposed change that might help new or more casual players. I'm so sick of these elitists ruining the game I love. Question, boys. I'm going to be honest. I think we need to be a little bit more elitist in the future. Is that okay with you?
I definitely want more
elitism
like this.
That's it. We've done it, boys. We're fucking elitists. We made it.
That's what we were aiming for, right?
Thank you so much.
Someone's noticed.
I know.
Yes.
Also, welcome to the Division 2. If you've not played the Division before, welcome. Luke? Because you look like you want to say something.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, on a serious note, we did discuss this review when we were playing off stream earlier this week, didn't we? Between
I
the
wish we
three of us.
recorded what we said.
What I would like to say in our defense is that we've been playing the Division since launch, so we had 3 years of that game, and we've been playing this game quite heavily since it came out. We play at least 5 times a week for at least 3 hours a time. I can't speak for these two. I apologize if we come off as elitist. However, we would consider ourselves somewhat hardcore players. Therefore, stuff that makes us seem elitist is us just wanting to prolong the life of the game for ourselves. Call it selfish, call it elitist, call it what you want. But our view is quite skewed on the fact that we play our way and our way alone.
I will just throw in there, I do think we do try and stay as positive, even in the darkest times, 1.3, no matter what happens with the game, whether that is good or bad for us, I don't know. But I do kind of think sometimes maybe we do strive to have like good conversations on casual stuff as well as hardcore stuff and try and look at it from all sides. But genuinely, we probably look at stuff from a PvP point of view constantly, especially when balancing comes in. Whether that's a bad thing, I don't know. But we all PvE as well. It's not like we're under one thing solely. We're PvEers or PvPers. We do everything in this game.
We just said at the start of the podcast, didn't we? Rob said it. We've PvE'd for 5 weeks solid almost. None of the three of us have got solid PvP builds yet. Because the PvE in this game is so strong, to be fair to it.
Rob, any closing thoughts?
Well, I can't say anything that I'm not allowed to say. I feel like the guy who wrote that doesn't understand our sense of humor. That's all I will say.
Dead game. Anyway. Robert. Before I say that, thank you to everyone who sent in questions and feedback this week. We do appreciate it. And some of them fucking brilliant. Like I said, I hope that guy's all right. Robert, where can the listeners send some sweet feedback?
You can find us over at SITREP Radio on Twitter. I've already fucked it up. Let me take a drink.
I was going to say, are you having a stroke? Are you okay?
Stroke of what?
So yeah, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. And we all have personal accounts on Twitter. Send any questions or feedback for the show to sitradiopod@gmail.com, or you can find us on Discord. The link will be in the show notes. So we want to hear your thoughts on the news and topics we cover. So smell burnt toast, guys. So be sure to leave a comment and join the discussion in any of those places.
This is the way you trailed off there. In any of those places.
You okay, Rob?
Yeah, no, I'm fine now.
Cool. Okay.
Mild stroke.
Please leave a review of the show using the podcast app of your choice. We really do enjoy reading them all, as proven in today's episode. The feedback is usually excellent, and at the end of the day, it does actually help other people to find our show. If you listen all the way to the very end of the show, you'll hear all the juicy details about the other awesome podcasts that are available on the Mash Those Buttons network. Thank you.
Very quickly, Robert, Luke, we hit 500 followers on Twitch this week.
Woo!
So,
nice.
Thank you very much to anyone who's been stopping by, checking out us playing The Division and all the other games that we've played in between the Division 1 and the Division 2 in the last year. So we do live stream as, God, it's all going shit tonight. We do live stream as often as we can, so if you are interested in dropping by and chatting with us whilst we play The Division and some other games, you can find us all over at twitch.tv/SITREP Radio. Oh, Luke, we actually got called a comedy podcast today.
Yeah, I was well chuffed for that.
Yeah, shout out to, was it Steve Jar?
No.
Is it not Steve Jar?
No. It was...
Roboto.
Roboto.
Pukoko? Yes. Shout
Comedy podcast because we're funny, or comedy podcast because our
terrible.
podcast is just a joke?
We're not funny.
This doesn't really matter either way.
It was a compliment and we're taking it. Thank
Whether
you.
they're laughing with us or laughing at us, I don't really
To be
care.
fair, the statement was something along the lines of, I already listened to a comedy podcast about 3 British people that take the piss out of each other on a weekly basis.
Hello.
I don't feel like we've done that enough today.
You may not have been talking about us. We just assumed
it was us. Damn. Anyway, agents, we have been SITREP Radio, and we will catch you in the next episode. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Sequence complete. Security protocols deactivated. Server data replaced and CPU destroyed. Terminating connection in 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to a Mash Those Buttons podcast. Visit mashthosebuttons.com for a full podcast schedule.
Cargo secured. Extraction complete.